A good work in, a lot of learning opportunities. It's all right, Gary. You let him have the camera. So it was good though. I mean, we'll go back. We'll look at the tape. There's a lot of things to learn from. There was a lot of guys in there, especially with our first offense. That it's some of their first reps against some excellent players. It seemed like there was a lot of tip balls for us offensively today that led to those turnovers, and that's something that we'll really look at. There were some good things, and then defensively it sounded like, and from what I saw from afar, that we flew around. We did a good job kind of consistently playing with the energy that we've seen with our practices, but still doing it in a smart way. And we'll go looking at some of the stuff that we were able to do in the kickoff and the kickoff return. That's interesting to say the least. I don't.
What happened?
I'm not sure.
Sean, when you say interesting to say the least, can you expand on that?
Yeah, it just feels weird. I mean, it doesn't look like anything that has been anything I've been familiar with football. And I know the intent is right, and we'll try to figure it out. And I know everybody that's been involved in that has their intentions in the right place, but it's a very foreign-looking play, and ultimately there's however we feel about it, we've got to be able to adjust and make sure that we adapt, and it can be something that's an advantage to us, and we'll continue to really put our heads together with Chase and Chili Davis and with John Stryker and figure out what's the best way to execute that phase so that it can be beneficial for our team. But I think we also need to probably have some fluidity with it if there are adjustments as we go. But when you see it against some other teams, it's one thing to work it against each other, but when you see it against some other teams, there'll be a lot that we can really dive into with the film. That's what I mean by interesting.
When you talk about when you think about your practice scheduling, how have you accounted for the kickoff? Have you added more reps to that, and how much special teams?
Yeah, I mean, you allocate certain things in terms of the timing to it. This was a good opportunity to really get familiar with it. In terms of just seeing it against another opponent in a little bit more of a controlled setting. But there's a lot of work to be done. I think that'll continue on as we get closer and closer to the opener. I don't believe that the preseason is going to give us an indication of what this play looks like, because I think a lot of teams that have some schematic things, they're not going to show it, just like we wouldn't as well.
You obviously are going to have to go back and watch the tape, but Warren on the right side got a lot of different looks from a couple of high caliber edge rushers today. How did you think he did today, and what would you like to see next time?
Yeah, I think you just said it. You're watching 22 guys. My eyes are usually on the defense in terms of, what's the play called, what is the point of attack, and so I thought he did some good things when he was at the point of attack. But anytime you go against premier players like that, and then Bud Dupree and Thule are also rotating on their edges, they got 4 guys that are legit players. So I think that's excellent. I think Warren is continuing to mature. But I'll go back and look at it. But there were some good things, Jordan, and then there'll be some things that when I'm just isolating on him, when you have a chance to slow it down, my eyes are sometimes in some different places.
Good to see you. Obviously, a couple of names out on the O-line. What did you see from?
Sure. There's a lot more than a couple.
Being modest, what did you see from the guys that are out there?
I think they're doing as well as they can. I think there's a lot of learning right now, and I think any time that you go against a front like this, it's a great challenge, and there's no excuses. We might not have our guys throughout the course of the season. We were able to stay relatively healthy last year, and then we saw what it looked like the year before. That's not going to be an excuse for us. We've got to do a good job as coaches. The players have to accelerate their learning curve, and then we've got to be able to figure out what does that look like if we need to alter some of the things that maybe we anticipated being our identity, and that's part of my job as a coach, and something that I'm excited about the challenge with our other coaches. And I think there were some good things and then some things that we absolutely can improve upon.
On the opposite side, between Ernest, Kobe, your new guys, Jared, Braden, it feels like there's an excitement from what this D can bring to the table. Obviously, it's early, but what is the excitement level for this defense?
It's that. I mean, they've got a great energy that they play with, and I love the effort, really the fundamentals in terms of killing blocks, pursuing to the football, the way that we're working our approach and our tackling, the way that we're attacking at the football. We had too many turnovers, way too many offensively today, and we've really, for the most part, taken pretty good care of the football, and a large portion of them were as a result of tip balls. And so it's a good reminder. I love what we've seen from our defense. Want to continue to get our hands on balls as well, and I think it was a pretty good day for us defensively from my understanding.
Couple more, guys.
Because it's the first week in August, and if you compare it to years past, what are you looking for from this team at this point, and are you achieving?
Yeah, I think consistent improvement. And some of that you have to have some patience isn't something that I'm very familiar with, as you know. But I think there's an understanding of let's keep building, especially if you've got some guys that are getting reps for the first time based on some people that we do have out. And so what I think is helpful is, no season is ever the same, but there are different experiences you can draw on to say, I can remember before the 21 season we practiced against the Raiders. We had a really tough first day of practice. We turned the ball over a bunch. The guys collectively responded the right way, and we were fairly decent on offense that year. But these provide opportunities to learn, to test things. We don't approach it like a game plan, so we're running a lot of base things. Really, I thought it was excellent to be able to see the differences in the schematics that we're giving each other, to be able to really ultimately prepare for the season. So what I'm interested in is guys improving every single day, and I think a lot of guys have done that. Sometimes it's been a little bit halted with certain position groups because of the injuries that we've sustained. But again, that's not going to be an excuse for me. Our job is to be able to get this roster ready to go, and we're going to continue to focus on that. But make no mistake about it, some of the things I saw, particularly offensively, got way higher standards, all right, than what we looked like today consistently down in and down out.
Do you know what happened to Braden Fisk?
Yeah, he had a really. This is going to make he is one of the toughest guys ever, but he had basically a blister that was the size of his foot, from my understanding. Reggie shows me, he's like, he's got a blister. I go, he's out for a thumb blister? But no, it was his whole foot, so we wanted to be smart with him because this guy will go, but then it ends up leading to probably being out for longer. And I know you like that right there. So that was what he had.
Have you thought about bringing with the new rules in the kickoff? PFT comment department take by the way.
Good to see it.
Have you thought about with the new XFL kickoff bringing in maybe like a former XFL kicker that might be able to give the boys a look out there? Understand the strategy?
We can try to simulate those things with our kickers.
I don't know.
There's a couple of nuances that are different than the XFL in terms of when the play starts, but what'd you think of how it looked today out at practice?
I thought it looked good, but I just think someone that like camp experience in the XFL could give you some good insight into the strategy.
What kind of guys? Which ones in particular?
I can look around and see if I know any.
Yeah, give me those names after this.
It's actually me. Yeah.
You look ready to roll.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
that.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, brother. I'll see you on Wednesday.
We'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Good to see you, dude.